Hello everyone. On Facebook today, we're only on Facebook. I'm doing this unannounced full moon meditation because tomorrow is the solstice. And so of course that full moon energy is going to be sweeping in to the solstice experience as well. But it's such an important full moon that I really felt that I should still do the full moon. So this will be up on YouTube also and here on Facebook, so you can watch it again or share it if you want to. It's always good to work with these energies. What's powerful tonight is at 8:36 will be exact time full moon. So it is as quivering, shimmering at the edge of fullness as it could possibly be right now. As these minutes pass, we're almost to the exact time full moon. And what's also really important tonight, and why I'm definitely wanting to do this particular full moon, is because it is at 27 degrees Gemini full moon to solar 27 Sagittarius. So we just finished last month the eclipses, Gemini Sag, over 2-year period of eclipses with these same signs, and now we're having a full moon to boot to kind of punctuate that ending. And what we learned over the last couple of years, well, what have we learned these last couple of years is a really good question, right? And it's a different way of looking at it, sort of reframing it as what have I learned, not, oh my God, how did I live through these last 2 years, or all the ways that we typically assess things, but what have you grown, and what have you newly known, and what are you understanding over these last 2 years as this full moon comes and marks it. It's very powerful, and it's in the last degree of, almost the last degree of Sagittarius, Sun, Gemini. And the other very important thing that's happening is that the degree of the solar position, Sun 27, which is really 28 degrees, is the galactic center of our galaxy. So one of the things that you should look, if you know your chart at all, look on your chart, where is 27 Sagittarius and Gemini, because that's where the full moon is, but the solar position of 27 Sagittarius is the galactic center. You can actually read that as a point on your chart. So coincidentally, I have at 27 degrees Sagittarius, I have Venus there. My Venus is exactly 27 degrees Sagittarius. So I'm connected by my Venus, by my heart, right? And what do I talk about? Love and heart, compassion, all these things that I teach about have to do with my Venus position exactly conjunct the galactic center, right? And in my ascendant is a degree away at 28. So I've got two main points, my rising sign and Venus, sitting on that galactic center. Well, so might you. You might have something there or near there. And when you do, this is a very powerful thing, because it is like being connected to something beyond yourself, right? And what I'm calling this meditation tonight is the portal, because what we're able to touch, everyone, because it's happening right now by solar degree, we're all able to touch that portal, no matter what your chart looks like, no matter if you don't know anything about it. And I was thinking about it before we started. Wouldn't it be amazing if this was the first meditation you ever did? Because we're on Facebook, right? And we're on YouTube. And somebody here might be that person, or there might be a whole bunch of people that have never meditated before. And boy, what a fast track that would be for a person that found this one. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because this one would quicken it, right? So people aren't always aware of meditation, don't know what meditation is, but they're just scrolling through and there's this meditation, and that's the one that they touch. That's their soul guidance, right? Bringing them into the right place at the right time in that perfect timing kind of way where they're fast-tracked to a certain position which has been there all along, but maybe it's been in some way dormant or hidden or repressed or suppressed or somehow tucked away and not consciously known. So, if that's you, welcome. And for many of us, it's our 100th meditation, it's our 1,000th meditation, it's our 10,000th meditation, right? But wherever we are, this still tonight is a portal opportunity to really touch something that you haven't before. Even you meditators that have been meditating a very long time, the potential here is that you can go deeper, a lot deeper. So with that in mind, you want to sort of be very aware of that crown chakra, the top of your head, which acts like a little satellite dish, to these incoming energies that yourself translates through the head center, through the soul and through the head center, and then through the self, as you manage these informations that come in impressionistically and affect the life by intuition, inspiration, enlightenment, curiosity. A book falls in your lap, a friend calls you to invite you to something, and all of a sudden a world opens up. Because no matter where we are in the world, at any point, you turn the corner, and it can be a whole new thing than the one that we've been walking. And we're really in that kind of place these days where there's kind of a whole new thing happening. So there's some dread around that sometimes for people, I feel, because change, right, is kind of the feeling of death, right? We don't like to change really. And yet, change is inevitable. It must be. And so the more in flow you can be with change, the more elegant is that movement. When we try to control it or resist it, which is the most closing of that energy, the more negative experience we will have because we're in resistance to the change. And as you kind of slip into that flow and trust that flow, especially soul flow, right? You can't ever be wrong. Like wherever you are is the right place. Like you really begin to see that and know that. Even when you're going through a difficult experience, you can still stay present to it. You can still stay awake inside yourself to it. And then you can mine that experience and it becomes a treasure. Because even the experience of loss or the experience of changing jobs or the experience of your economy changing begs the question in our life, well, now what? But we say, now what, right? What if you said, now what? Because there's that kind of willingness, right, to move into a new position, to shift and grow and come into, because in our comfort, right, in our complacency sometimes, we don't change much. And so we want it to all stay the same. Well, this full moon is a moon about change. It's all mutable. Sagittarius and Gemini, mutable signs. And it's about flow. And we just finished those big eclipses for 2 years. We went through a Gemini Sag eclipse season. And and here comes the exclamation, or not an exclamation point, a period at the end. What did you learn over these last 2 years? And if you could answer that in your mind, even as I'm asking it, I wonder what you would say if you were here, if we could talk about it. It'd be really interesting because you would know. You might not know instantly, but as other people were sharing what they were realizing, you'd realize too, or you might know anyway. You'll be go, it was definitely about this subject for me. And I've grown so much about this. So we're in this portal time of being able to really open our perception to new realities, to new ways of being, even in our own self, in our own body, in our own thinking, and our own experiencing. And in this full moon, it will sort of anchor that energy. Plus, we're going to connect to that great big portal energy that's happening right now. Remember, the full moon sheds light upon. And wherever 27 Sag is in your chart, if you happen to know it, that's the subject area of this full moon. And so you can pay attention. It'll be full moon 27, the solar position is 27 Sag. The full moon position is 27 Gemini. So actually look at both points. And the full moon is actually lighting up 27 Gemini. So what's going on there for you? But it also, by proxy, is affecting the opposite, right? So both signs are being very affected by this full moon at the galactic center of the Milky Way. Think of that. It's very powerful. So this is a time for insight, big downloads, big re-understandings, rememberings. Oh, now I see, right? Coming to new conclusions, taking in all this data over the last couple of years and all these experiences that have happened, and coming to a spiritual conclusion versus a egotistic conclusion, which is this, I don't like this change, right? The spiritual conclusion is very different sometimes than what the ego comes up with, or the personality, we can call it, right? Because we don't know. We don't want it to change at all. If we could stop it, we would usually, right? So be like little children, right? Young people have an advantage in that they want that change. They're going, now what? All the time, right? Now what are we going to do? Now where are we going to go? Now what are we going to learn, right? When you're especially kids, little kids, right? But even as we get older, we still kind of have that energy, and then we start hunkering down, and we want to build a fortress around what we have already and don't want it to change anymore so much, or we want it to change just here, only right here. I'll learn ballroom dancing, and that's it. Versus big awareness, big expansive thinking, big thinking outside the box of ourself, even through meditation and awareness practices. So, and as we're coming to the solstice, which is in 2 days, our solstice, my solstice, that I'll be offering is tomorrow, Sunday, at 8 o'clock. The solstice is happening on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. So it's just another day away. But it's still going to be this full moon energy, because as we get closer to the solstice, as we get closer to the full moon, like we are right now, minute by minute, we're getting closer and closer. It's getting bigger and bigger. It gets stronger as we get closer to it. So this whole period right now is getting stronger and magnified. Because it's in the northern hemisphere, winter solstice, in the southern hemisphere, it's summer solstice, but in the northern hemisphere, it's winter solstice. If you look at nature, everything's going in. So when we do the meditation in some moments, we really want to go in and into the silence, into the deep silence, into the starry, starry night silence, so that we can connect with less interference. It's said in a lot of the teachings of meditation that the best time to meditate is at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., times like this, because people are sleeping and there's less noise in the air. And I don't mean like literal noise, although that too, but there's just people are sleeping. It's quiet. And so it's an opportunity to, in a way tonight and over these next couple days as we come to the solstice, to go into that deep silence where you can connect to more than you can where it's loud, where there's a lot of energy going on around you, and so you have that stillness. I had both of these meditations for tonight and for tomorrow for the solstice at 8 p.m. And I really went back and forth, should I do it earlier? But I really wanted it to be dark because it's that deep night, right? That it's like trying to make it as if 4 a.m., right? Like we're really in that deep quiet so that we can be more available to light. So from here, we'll go into the meditation in a moment because it's going to be exact in about 12 minutes or so. So I want to be ready for that. And so if you have a candle, you can light it. And if you don't have a candle, don't worry about it because you can just do it in your mind. And if you have one, light it now. And we'll just start to set the tone for this full moon. 29 Gemini, 28 Gemini, 28 Sag. And what does the full moon shed light on for you? And these are the things that we're going to call on inside the meditation, inside the stillness. So when you're ready to, close your eyes and take a breath to balance your body, mind, and heart in a single breath so that you become harmonious inside yourself, quietening the body, physical tensions, restlessness in the body. Just exhale it away for now. And even if there's some physical discomfort of any kind, change your position so there's less. Don't resist it. And see if you can relax it back so it becomes background rather than foreground. Right? And even if there's a lot of worries and anxiety in general these days, which a lot of people are having, see if you can let that go into the background instead of the foreground. Let it pull back. Let it fall back so that physically your body relaxes, emotionally, the heart, the emotional body relax, and especially and finally mentally, letting the mind become still. And use your breath to help you make that alignment. If there's a lot of still stress and tension, just keep using your breath to bring your body into the calm, into the peace, into the moment, into this now, into this silence, into the stillness. Like you're opening a door now, that portal at the top of the head, opening the door to receptivity, to divine guidance, to divine guidance only. And you begin to sense the soul around, holding the space of this with you always, whether you realize it or not, in deep relationship with you. And you can be in deep relationship with it as you're aware that it is. A mantra to use to learn and understand the soul is, I and the soul are one. Om. I and the soul are one. Om. All from the head center. Let that land and open like a flower in your consciousness. I and the soul are one. Breathing now through this point in the forehead, like there's a window here too. And you refresh your consciousness, you refresh your brain, you refresh the mind, like pine air in the mountains after it has snowed. And you feel this clarity of mind that's not connected or attached to what you've already thought, or even what you're thinking now. It is clearing the field of the mental plane to allow for new thought, for inspiration. Inspire. Inspiration and growing knowing. Intuition. All these things are developed, right? In this practice of awareness and less attachment to the thinking, which is very stiff, right? This is this always. And there's so much more fluidity to things than that. And you can kind of sense that right now. As you sense that open field, that top of the mountain, in the snow, clear sky, clear mind, clear awareness. And as you breathe in, you kind of even more clear. Any static, any stagnancy, to open up the consciousness. And then feeling again that crown chakra, wide open, available to light, available to soul influence, available to divine guidance and divine perception. So you can look at the same material and the same problems and see them anew as opportunity, as healings, as affirmation, as new understanding, as growth and discovery and creative solution. All of that lives in this awareness. All these possibilities are there in regard to your own life and the world's life, the all of us life, of what we're growing through right now. So much. What we're all growing through. This phrase is going through, what we're all going through. And I'm saying what we're all growing through. The opportunity that is now. And in that clear, clear field of that white, white snow, and that deep silence, sense now what is for you, what is true. Sensing your own relationship with the soul, inviting it more into your life so that it becomes an activated relationship. Like you can call on the phone and say, what do I do about this? And you know, and you begin to know, and you begin to know, and you can feel that confidence more, that growing confidence. Maybe it's not perfect every moment, of course, because it's a constant conversation in a way, as you learn to align with light. So as you go into your meditation now, into the silence, into the deep stillness, sensing that star point of solstice coming, which we'll continue with tomorrow. Feel the guidance, the wisdom, the intelligence that is available to you, and the love that's holding you and always has from the beginning of ever. And feel yourself shone upon, blessed, forgiven, healed, loved, given to, helped in your receptivity. You receive in your remembering of your worthiness and your innate goodness. As conscious being, I receive the gifts of the soul. I receive the light of divine guidance. I remember my connection to all that is. That's the meditation, there it is. I remember my connection to all that is. As we move into the silence now with that phrase, I remember my connection with the soul. I remember. I remember. I remember. I remember who I am in truth. Feel the relief that's in the air, because there is some. Feel the clarity that is here now and that will get more in these days, these next few days. Feel the brightness of the light of you. And let your breath get deeper and fuller. Integrating all of this into your body being as part of you forevermore, of an even deeper connection to light, to the soul. And as you start to bring that energy down into the physical brain now, this energy that's coming like shimmering, let it land into the physical brain and open up pathways that we haven't used for a while and new ones that have never been used before. Feel your mind expanding. And watch how they continue to in these days coming more. And drop away the tension and fears of the moment so that there's no resistance to the fullness of this experience. So that you can receive it. I receive this light from my head to my soles of my feet, from my soul to my soles. I receive this light. I receive this awareness. And landing in your heart center now, right at the exact time of the full moon. Breathe through your heart center, unlocking it, unlocking the heart, refreshing the heart, bringing all that light, all that cool snow into the heart center, clearing the fields of the heart, disappointment, loss, hurt. Like you could breathe through your heart more easily now. And feel the brothers and sisters, the family of light that's here on this meditation right now, and that will be listening to it later, and that are doing their own meditations independently all around the world at this exact time meditation. Feel the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the humanhood, the consciousness connection between conscious souls, these lighthouses around the world that we are part of and connected to. And if this is your first meditation, wow. Right? What a connection to make as your first experience or your millionth experience. Let it be new. Let yourself be new. Let yourself be new. And when we come into the solstice coming up tomorrow, we're going to put it down, right? We're going to put this year down for the true new year, to come into this new year that's marked by the first degree of Capricorn, the longest dark, and the light begins to change again, and we meet the new year newly. So I really look forward to that. And just keep letting yourself ground all the way down into your feet, letting your breath get deeper and fuller and more present, and letting yourself be new to whatever happens now, tomorrow, tonight, to let your dreams teach you, to let your life show you, to let your meditation open you, to what's next, your spiritual next step. It's always in your good, for your good, even if it's change. So thank you, everyone. I'm so glad you were here in this spontaneous full moon. Hope to see you tomorrow. Blessings, blessings, and good night. See you soon.